Hey, this is Gerard. I'm on Twitter quite a bit. Huge Impact Wrestling fan. Me and a lot of the guys, we have an Impact Wrestling chat, and we're always talking about various comings and goings. It's not just for Impact Wrestling; it's for the wrestling in general. We talk AEW, a whole bunch of other stuff, but the big new distribution deal. Len Asper tweeted it. 8/23, I believe, was the date, which is exactly 2 months before Bound for Glory. I know some people, I'll give him a shout out actually. His name's Terrence. It's Terrence from SE on Twitter. He had mentioned back in April that he tweeted out that Viacom was looking, or Paramount Plus was looking for specifically at Impact Wrestling. That's why they brought Mauro Ranallo in. That's why Anthem added Invicta. They were looking to beef up their stuff for satellite clearances. We all kind of thought he was crazy. I would love to see that happen. WoW announced the deal with Viacom now. He came out and he said that was supposed to be Impact's deal. They didn't know who they were dealing with Impact in terms of who was sitting at the table. And then Anthem seemed like they were happy to be sitting at the table but didn't know what to do when they got there. I believe that in part, and I don't believe part of it. He also stated that Jeannie Buss came in with a much better presentation, and there was a clear cut, this is who's in charge, this is who's running stuff. They brought AJ Lee in as an executive producer, and this is David McLean's version of Glow from Netflix. They're going to try to turn it into a wrestling show. And then Tessa Blanchard is the face of your project. Pretty big deal. Getting a lot of blowback. I know somebody asked Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful about it. Said Viacom is getting a ton of blowback. They're trying to just weather the storm. They think they can, but nothing with them is set to premiere newer stuff until they're saying fall of 22 right now. So that's almost an entire year from now. We'll see what happens. I honestly don't. I think it fizzles out between now and then. Nobody's going to want to work with them. A lot of the bigger names that would have worked with them before won't come probably with Tessa there. But some people are saying that deal took the place of, or this one guy, Terrence, is saying that deal took the place of the Impact deal. I don't buy that. Impact, he says, they might have been looking for AEW type money. Okay, that's a negotiating tactic. And for those that are wondering what AEW type money is, they're getting $45 million a year from TNT or Warner Media for their show. I could see Impact or Anthem asking for that, but let's be realistic. You're probably, especially if you're just going to go over there, you're probably Tony Khan with AEW. They started out on Prove It deal on an ad share. And in 3 months, they got this huge deal for $45 million a year. And the next time they go back to the table, it's going to be a lot more than that. But for the time being, that's where they're at. Anthem, I would say you ask for, 15 to 20 million, maybe. Cut that down by half. I mean, let's be honest. They can't be making much with Impact Wrestling on the Access TV because it just doesn't have a whole lot of clearances. And even with Kenny Omega, they had Kenny Omega for almost an entire year, and their highest was right around 200,000 viewers on TV. I'm not counting the streamers on that, but I can't imagine that you do much better on Access TV. That's why I think, yes, they should ask for a premium for it. That's their highest show on Access. The thing is, and I've been saying this for a minute, everything else on Access, it has the time where it can wait for the network to get clearances and all that other stuff. They're not on most Xfinity regular basic cable packages. They're not. I think maybe they're trying to get on Combat Sports or something, which is why they added Invicta, and you could package it with Impact. But they're not on most normal. I know they're expanding because when I have Xfinity in my area and I live in Illinois, and they weren't in my area at all. Now they're in my area in a limited capacity on Xfinity. I don't have it myself, but it's in my area where it wasn't before. But yeah, you're gonna want a premium. When you look at it, the total company's worth maybe I'm on the high end, maybe 10, 15 million. So if I'm legitimately Viacom and I want this as a product, I might float at them and offer. Maybe they go for it, maybe they don't. But if I'm Viacom, your company's only worth 10 million. I'm gonna offer you 15 to 20 maybe to put it on my network. And the value of the company, I guess, doesn't really have much to do with. That's just my thinking. Maybe I'm dead wrong in that, and if I am, I'll fucking come out and admit it, just like I do with everything else, where I don't know everything about everything. I have opinions about stuff, and I have ideas on how I think things work. I get proven wrong all the time, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, but I'm always willing to learn. I'm a pretty open-minded person. If I'm spitting out something that's not accurate, just fucking tell me, and I'll correct it. But yeah, I think this big new distribution deal, maybe it's a different channel. If it's like I said, if you're Viacom, I don't see you substituting WoW for Impact Wrestling. There's so much more. Yes, it was cheaper money monetarily, but there's so much more of a revenue stream for Impact Wrestling than there is for any type of WoW show. They just added the Inspiration, sign them to deals. They're probably going to sign Braun Strowman. Maybe they go after Bray Wyatt hard after Slammiversary, after Bound for Glory. I really think that's the plan, because I think that's the only reason they're running Turning Point Live, is because they're hoping Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, formerly known as Bray Wyatt, his 90-day no-compete ends on October 29th, so he misses Bound for Glory. But I think they're running live in November specifically to try to bring him in. And then allegedly, according to Dave Meltzer, they're going to continue to run live specials every month. I don't have any inside intel on that. I got people that are kind of reaching out to the company to see if that's going to be a legit thing moving forward. But, yeah. I'm waiting to see what the big new distribution deal is. I'm hoping we get some kind of an announcement at Bound for Glory one way or another, whether it's, we're moving to a new TV channel, which is entirely possible. I actually wouldn't be surprised. One of the things that I thought of, and I was waiting to see how Vice didn't, MLW, they did not do very well last week on Vice. And the fact that they were given a shot tells me that Vice is looking to add wrestling, so that might be another option. They might. I don't know what the status of Vice is, but if they're just looking for a TV deal, I know some people are like, oh, they should have bought Vice. I don't know what the status of Vice is for sale or what, but if they're just looking for a TV deal to get more exposure, and Access TV's on like 50 million homes, Vice TV's on 70 million, and it's part of the A&E family of TV networks. So you can use A&E TV to massively help you expand and get eyes on your product and all that stuff. And they, again, Impact, they're going to ask for a premium if they go to another TV network, which they should, because it's their main entity. They don't need anything else. At the same time, it's going to depend, too, on if they're asking for streaming. Viacom's probably going to want their streaming stuff, which is worth money. YouTube, they monetized that back at the beginning of August. They've got the Impact Plus app, which, thanks to Kenny Omega, has, over the last year has done ridiculous numbers, from what I've been told. I don't have the specifics in front of me, but pay-per-view buys with Omega were huge. That was part of why Omega came in. The app subs are huge, and they have been looking to, do something with both for a long time. Maybe they keep the streamer. You go to a company like Vice. Maybe they're willing to deal with TV, and you just keep your streamers in place. You keep Impact Plus, you keep the YouTube app, and that's just the way it goes. I don't know. But I'm waiting to see. I think big stuff's in the works for Impact. I know a lot of people are talking shit about Impact constantly. It's one of the... I really think that a TV deal could easily separate. There's like Vice, MLW, and the Ring of Honor. And I know Sinclair put in a bid for the NBC SN channels. MLW got their shot on Vice. I think one big TV deal could separate any one of those and project them to be the legit number 3. In my opinion, it's Impact. But to really set them apart from the others and kind of take everybody else out of the conversation, one huge TV deal could take any of them out, or skyrocket them to where they don't need to be. Yeah, I'm gonna try some of these videos out. I don't have. I like voicing my opinion, chiming in on certain stuff. Shout out to Mike Gilbert and JD Oliva from Fight Game Media. I'm always talking to those guys about, Mike's one of the guys that's in my Impact group chat, and we're always just kind of bullshitting about a lot of it and throwing ideas at the wall and see what sticks, see what comes out. And, a lot of times he's got opinions. He's also, as part of Fight Game Media, I'm sure he's got some sources on the inside and stuff like that. But I don't have anybody on the inside. All the information that I get is second or third hand usually. But that's the other thing that makes me think this is a really big deal for the, I'm not trying to get too much into it, but this big new distribution deal. Everybody all the news, Fightful, Wrestling Inc., Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer Radio, they all usually are pretty in tune with what's going on with Impact. Nobody said anything about it. That there hasn't been quiet like this since, and I wasn't on Twitter when it happened, so I don't really know, but there hasn't been this kind of quiet around a TV deal or a possible streaming deal since Anthem purchased Access TV. And then, so for about a year, nobody said anything. But the fact that Len tweeted this out, it makes me think like I can't see him. And obviously there's, the TNA, the old TNA monikers, oh yeah, this, it's a Dixie surprise. So it's probably like Disco Inferno or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think, if that's where Anthem and Impact could really set themselves apart and say, hey, if we got an announcement, it'd be more like a Tony Khan announcement than a Dixie Carter announcement. You gotta, yes, I gotta temper my expectations a little bit, but at the same time, like, Len doesn't tweet Impact, and last time he tweeted Impact was the Rebellion pay-per-view. So the fact that he tweeted Impact tells me that most likely this is a big deal, and it's probably pretty close to done. And they're just waiting to announce it, which I think will come at Bound for Glory. Like I said, doesn't come at Bound for Glory. Well, I guess we'll find out. Maybe they did blow the deal. You never know. I mean, it looks like it makes Anthem look really bad that they're this huge corporate, hundreds of millions of dollars company and can't fucking land a TV deal. If that's the case, and it is what it is. In spite of that, hopefully they're still going to land. Braun, you got the Iconics, or the former Iconics, the Inspiration that came on, signed, not just there for a one-off. And hopefully they pick up some of these NXT guys. Jonah Reed used to be Bronson in NXT, I believe. Tony Nese, Daivari, Buddy Matthews, I'm hoping he pops up too, so... it's fuck it. We're talking Impact. Let's go. I want to see Bound for Glory. Now, somebody in the chat earlier today threw Jay White out there. I would love to see Jay White pop up with, an open weight or the strong weight, whatever the fuck title names he's got, never weight title. That New Japan title that he's got. I'm sorry. I'm trying to follow New Japan more, but I really don't follow it too much. Yeah, I'd love to. Nobody knew he was coming to Slammiversary. I would love to see him pop up at Bound for Glory and just do like an open challenge, and then maybe somebody like Chris Sabin or whoever pops up to challenge him for his title, and that match is a banger. Whether you let him keep the title, I think you have him keep the title, obviously, but we get a banger out of it that nobody expected. I think God pops up at Bound for Glory. Bullet Club won their match for a tag title match at the Good Brothers, and I expect them to announce the Good Brothers versus the Bullet Club with no specific mention of the people who will be part of the Bullet Club. And then I suspect GOD pops out. They've both been eliminated from the G1 tournament as of now. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one too. All right, I'm going to try to do some of these videos and see how they work out. I don't have podcast stuff, like I said, but, and I don't plan on going out and purchasing any. I just do this on my own time. Yeah, I mean, I have opinions, and I've been a fan, TNA fan for a long time, going back, 15 years now. And I'm a big fan of AEW. I'm not going to get too much into it, but the reason I'm a big fan of AEW is because I was around and really thoroughly enjoyed the WCW era. And AEW reminds me a lot of the WCW era, where you don't know who's going to show up or when they're going to show up or who they're going to bring with them or any of that type of stuff. So wrestling right now in 2021 is crazy anyway. Tony Khan just announced Minoru Suzuki against Bryan Danielson on a buy-in show on YouTube to lead into the Friday Night Rampage. So that should be an absolute fucking banger right there. Looking forward to that. Yeah. I'll see you guys. Maybe I'll do another one tomorrow. Maybe I'll try to do one every couple days. We'll see. But, yeah. Thanks.